Beloved Titans, welcome to our TRC Discord tutorial, part 3. It has got the title Create and Post, which means today we will talk about everything which is necessary to put the information together to create a post in this forum. Whereas the part 1 and part 2 were quite relaxing to listen. Maybe you thought it was not a problem, I will just apply. This time we are digging a bit deeper into the topic, and maybe I would recommend to also prepare a piece of paper and a pencil, and perhaps a power drink if necessary. Let's start with how to create a text. It starts very, very simple, and then we will see that there is a bit more behind. It's not difficult, but it's a bit more behind. Let's start with a simple text. If you would like to write a text like this, you have the possibility to add a format quite easily just by marking it and say, okay, let's make this part bold, for example. We take it like it is. Outstanding, it fits quite well. Perhaps outstanding was a bit too much in this case. And so you can do a very nice format. You can also combine, for example, boldface and italic, and you get a result like that. One problem is that this will not work on the smartphone if you would like to do that, but there is a possibility to overcome that, and I will show you, because you will get the same text just writing the following. As we see, we get the same result and also a bit more, because here we can also underline the text. And for us it's quite easy to remember good old times, because most of us are old enough to remember the times where our text software was not what you see is what you get, but you had to apply commands like I did now for getting italic or boldface or whatever. And back then we have not been slower typing our texts, even if the younger generation would doubt that. But everybody who had an M3 E30 poster in his living room as a teenager will remember also the times where we had to format our texts like that. Okay, and the funny thing is, this can also be done from the smartphone perspective. So if I go to the smartphone, so please switch to the right, you can see that it works exactly the same way. And so on and so forth. You can see here the part is not immediately passed, whereas at the computer, after inserting the closing sign, you could immediately see what will turn out. But after we send the message, it looks exactly like that. What you can see here now is, in the computer perspective, please look on the left, that we created single posts with every line, which means if we would like to create a text with more lines, and you would press enter here, you would immediately send the message. If you would like to do that on the computer, you would have to enter the next line by shift and enter. Then you can write line 2, line 3 and so on, and after pressing finally enter you will send the text. Back to the smartphone, please have a look on the right hand side. This is not necessary. We can just write it like I do here, because if I would like to send it, I have to press this button here. This is the difference, so please do not forget shift and enter if you are on a computer. This is more or less, I think, the first thing somebody could get angry if he or she is using Discord for the first time. In the next step, I would like to show you some possibilities to edit text which are not available in such a context menu. For example, you could apply different kinds of headings by using this little hashtag here. You see, I apply a different number of hashtags, and after then a space bar, and then the text I would like to write. To compare, I write normal text, and then I write a minus, then a hashtag, and I write something like small text, and you see this one is already parsed here. And if we send it now, you will see that this heading 1 with the first, or with just one hashtag here, gives us the biggest headline. Heading 2 is a bit smaller. Heading 3 is more or less the same size than normal text, but the spacing is a bit changing, and it's also written in boldface, and small text is then the tiny version. You can see we have a decrease in the font size here, and also in the spacing between the different lines. And here, for example, we have just to compare a normal text and the small version. If you look to the right on your smartphone, or on my smartphone, we could write a title here, and it would also then print it in the same manner. So everything you write with the help of this format language will work from both perspectives. So let's summarize the possibilities to format text. If you would like to write a word boldface, we have to use 2 times this asterisk, and also close it like that. You recognized already, if we just use it once, we get an italic style. We can combine them, and of course this is then both. You can strike out text by applying 2 times the tilde, or you could underline it by applying 2 times the underscore. A feature we remember from a very nice community server are spoilers. You can also use spoilers on Discord, like that. With 2 vertical lines, you introduce a spoiler for 1 line, and you also close it, and the result is this one. And if you then click on the spoiler, it will be revealed, or if you go to the smartphone on the right hand side, if you touch on the spoiler, you can read what is behind there. You could do this also over several lines. close it again, and you have a spoiler like that. The problem is, compared to the forum we know concerning that you cannot hide a wall of text. We used it very, very often to write about this and that, a couple of lines, which would be too much for a general chat, and then we wrote it in a spoiler. You don't have a benefit there. It takes as much space as it would need if you just would write it down. There is a little trick to overcome that, but please just use it if the message is an important one. You could hide a wall of text like that. You could create a thread within a thread. Just give it a name. And then you could enter your wall of text here. You could also do this with another wall of text. You could enter a second message, or another one could reply to your wall of text. And you can see then here in the main thread you just have this little part here, which gives you a sign there are two messages, and here's the possibility to read it by opening that. As I said, please use it just for important things, because for in a period which is defined by the host, in this case 3 days, your wall of text will be visible here as a sub point to the text channel. Another point which was very comfortable, to be honest, in the community forum we know, was quoting. We had the possibility to quote just parts of a message. This is not possible here. If I would respond to a message, I could do this by pressing reply. In this case I can also reply to my own message. And then I would not have the chance to reply to or to mark specific signs. You can see you just refer to the whole message. If I would like to reply to a specific item, I would have to copy that in advance. Then reply, and then you have the possibility to quote it like that. Thus you have the chance to tell the other guy to which part of this of his message you refer with your reply. You could do single quotes, which was this one, or also multi-line quotes. Like that. As I said already, please do not remember all these specific format topics, and please do not use them all. We all love clear servers and clear messages. Keep it as clean as possible. So just to complete it, I would like also to show you the coding environment. We don't need it very often, but sometimes it could be useful. Can write some code style if you use these backticks. Then it looks like that. You could also do this in a multi-line environment with 3 of them. Format it like that. It looks quite nice, and you could, for example, use it to emphasize something. The advantage of that is that the spacing is completely correct, because it's used in general to present some computer code. If you're programming loops and you would like to share that to another one, individual tabs, and the spacing is always the same, not to get crazy by reading the computer code then. One thing which is really lovely, and one can use it very nice are lists. And let's start with a bullet point list. And to create such a bullet point list, you just start with a minus, for example, and then a space, and then you can enter the first item of your list. The second item, again a minus or the space, and you write the second item. You could also create a second layer in your list with sub-items. You need 2 spaces in front, 1, 2, then the minus, and then you could create a sub-item to the first item, for example. And also, if you want another sub-item, 1, 2, minus sub-item 2, 2, and it looks like that. You could do the same result if you use this asterisk. One, two. You can also combine them. It looks always completely the same, and the result is exactly the same. Oh, we have a misprint here. You can see. Sorry, I forgot a space here. We can correct that. And also here is a misprint. Okay, but now it's as nice as it could be. This is a bullet point list. You can also define an ordered list or numbered list. Like that. You write first dot, then entry 1. Next line, you could write first dot, entry 2. You could write 7 dot, entry 3, and first dot, entry 4. And now you think, okay, a lot of mistakes. But it's not the case. You will see, even if we wrote here 1, 1, 7, and 1, it will number this list with 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can you don't have any possibility to make it wrong in this case. So a numbered list is also very, very easy to create here. No need to mention that you can do the same in the smartphone. If you look to the right hand side, we can create a message with a bullet point list. The same way as we did on the keyboard. Now let's check if we could write a post quite fluently. Italic here. So let's assume somebody asked us to talk about our favorite tracks and perhaps to order them and also to name the most difficult tracks. We could respond like that. So we quoted his questions so that he knows or she knows what we would like to respond to, and then we mark a little headline. Don't forget the space, and say okay, our favorite tracks would be, for example, of course, the Nordschleife. Then the second would be, for example, Interlagos, and for example Fuji. And as you remember, it will not write 1.1.1. It will then make a nice list with 1, 2, and 3. And our most difficult, for example, or I don't know if you should write most ugly, it would be, for example, Tokyo Central. I think counterclockwise was more ugly than clockwise. Yeah, and to be honest, the Nordschleife was also not so easy. And then perhaps trying to be funny is always nice in chats. To bring something a bit smaller as an annotation. You see it's immediately paused. Some formatting is immediately paused, some isn't. Again, trying to be funny. Okay, now let's check how many mistakes we have made by sending the message. And we can see here we have our quotations, we have a bold, we have a headline, sorry, we have a sorted list, we have another headline. Please just use this small headlines. The header 1 and header 2, they are so huge that they crash your whole thread. We have a bullet point list with 2 layers here. We have this strike through part, we have this the tiny part, we have a fat part. We could also, if we would like to change it, for example, you could do here by pressing edit, but you could also reply to other messages or edit your own by swiping from the left to the right. From the right to the left on the smartphone. And then you could say, okay, maybe this was not yet enough. I'd like to have it also italic, and then you could also do that here, and then you can see that it is edited. And here we also have our little spoiler. So a lot of possibilities, and if you compare the velocity, I'm not a very fast typer, but I would not have been faster if I would have written that using the format. Sorry, it's not possible here. I can show you here, and using this or applied the format always here, and also the lists and things like that would not have been possible with this little submenus. Here you have to know the code. So we have been talking about general format in this first part, and now let's switch to tables, how to create tables in the second part. Therefore, let's change the channel here and start from the scratch with a new one. Tables are a problem in Discord. You can do something like a table with this coding environment we discussed before. So, for example, if you would like to write your personal experience concerning the circuit experiences, you could do it like that. You just have to use this coding environment. I prepare that because, as I mentioned, the distances are very precise here, so you could create a table by your own and then send the message. To be honest, it does not look as bad, but just on the computer, if you look to the right hand side on the smartphone, you can see that it is not so nice. You can just see the comment about the track and the car, and then you have this breaking lines here. So at the end, it's just a kind of ugly. If I would turn the smartphone, it would be more lovely here, but you can't see it because of the screen, but I will not change that. So you can see, in any case, it's not perfect, and this is one reason I would not recommend it, and the other reason is the effort, because it's not very funny to do that. Therefore, tables are a problem. You can overcome it with a workaround if you just use Excel for that. If you prepare the table in Excel and just copy it, and in the next step paste it here, it creates a very nice PNG file. You can't get it more quickly, and it's doing the job in most of the cases. The problem is that you are not able to edit it anymore, whereas here you can just jump in and say, okay, the Nordschleife was also not so funny. Let's add a luckily here. It's possible, and here it's not possible. You have no possibility to change this PNG file, because if you add here something, it's just a text, and you can add text, and you can also correct or change this text, but you can't replace this PNG file or also JPEG. You can delete it, but you have no chance to add it again. You would have to delete your post, and you would have to add a new one. With a new table. This is in most cases not the problem, but it is a problem if you destroy the history. If you reply in an early stage of a conversation, then you cannot just delete the post and then write it 3 pages away from the original one. It does not make sense. I will show you, if we talk about pictures, I will show you a solution which is also just a workaround. So this is a problem concerning Discord. I did not find a solution up to now, and maybe there isn't one. But it's more a problem for the creators or for the hosts of servers. Guys who just respond to posts don't have this problem. They just delete their picture and post a new one. This is not a big deal. The next topic I would like to discuss are links. Links are very important, and they are also very easy to implement. So therefore we switch to the link channel here. We do the same on the smartphone. so that you can follow both perspectives. To add a link, and doesn't matter if it is a link to a YouTube video or a picture or spreadsheet, whatever, you can just post it there, and the response presents you the link and also a little picture of this link, which is enough and very, very lovely for most of the use cases. But if you remember the old, the good old link was something you have written within the text, and then you could click on it and so on. This is also possible. You just have to format your link. You could say, okay, I would like to add some link text, which could be, for example, this is the TRC Titans trailer or whatever. Yeah, let's just take this text. This would be the link text we would like to have, and then the link is presented in brackets. If I would show you the result, you would see that now we have the link text here. Obviously, one bracket too much. We have the link text here, but we also have the picture. If you don't want to make the picture visible, you can do it with this type of brackets. Then you just have the link, and if I would click on this link now, I would be able to visualize the YouTube video. It would jump then in the next step to YouTube. We can do this later on, but in the first step we are lucky like it is. Okay, now we have the link. What could we do with that? Let's format it a bit more. For example, we could apply it boldface using this headline function, and the result would be like this. We would have here TRC Titans trailer is a headline. You could click here to open it, you could click here to open it, and you also will find the picture there. So with this would be already a possibility to present this trailer. It's not very comfortable if you would like to present this to other members of the group. I would offer a bit more comfort, to be honest, and one possibility would not just to present the trailer, but also to present the table of content. You can see here in YouTube these are little links, so you could jump, for example, to the off-road part like that, and you would immediately see the respective part of the movie. And my idea would be to present my beloved Titans also the table of contents. If I do that, the result looks like that. It's already nice. Here we have the headline, we have the teaser pic, and here we would have the table of contents. We could also write that this is the table of contents. It's even more lovely then. But the problem is that we don't have any links here, but we can overcome that, of course, because we know how to format links. We edit this text part and we say, okay, this should be the link text. Then I need the link itself. We don't need a teaser picture because we have one big, and then we need the link. And I prepared the link of this video already. You just could copy that from YouTube. So this is the link, and then we have this first marker here. This should be done then also for the others. So for example, I know they will all work more or less the same. So why not just copying that? but we don't want to jump to the start of the video. We would like to jump to 40 seconds, to 120 and so on. Therefore, you have to ask YouTube in order to give you this jump information and in order to jump for you to the respective part. You can do this just by adding this little part here. Say T for time is equal to 40 seconds in this case, or if we have 1 minute and 20 seconds, we do it like that. We have 2 minutes, 240, 320 and so on. It's a bit a tedious piece of work to do, but you do it for your friends, you do it for the other Titans, therefore it's not a problem. In the next step, we would like to talk about pictures in a new channel. What is necessary to know about pictures? It's very easy in the computer perspective, because here you can just use drag and drop. If you would like to place a picture there, you just drag it in this field and you have it like that. Wonderful. Picture one, quite easy to do. If you would like to do this from the smartphone, please look on the right hand side. You go to this plus here, then your media folder will open, and then you just tick the picture you would like to enter and you send it, and you have the same result with the help of the smartphone. Post you send from the smartphone, you can edit with the computer, it's not a problem. It's okay, I forgot the title, or it was not comfortable enough to write this title on the smartphone. You can just upload the picture, because sometimes it's more easy to upload pictures from the smartphone. We will have this later on in another video, I think so at least, and you can add the title later on. So it works like this. What is important to know is that, and this is very lovely also compared to other community server, Discord is I think it's very good in creating galleries, so and also galleries which look very, very nice later on. If you, for example, add 2 pictures here, or a group of 2 pictures, and we take the first one and the second one, you can see there is a specific order the way you load it up, and it makes a difference. If you would change this order, it would also change the results. So you can see the first picture we uploaded is on the left hand side and the second is on the right hand side. If you would like to upload a group of 3, for example using the smartphone here, we go to the plus, and then let's just take 1, 2 and 3 in this order, and we can see that the picture 1 is bigger than picture 2 and 3. Just to present you how the design is, I will show you how this works with 4 pics and so on. These are 4 pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have 5 pictures, 1 and 2 are bigger ones, so you always have to think how in which order do I upload my pictures in order to have a nice result. Six pictures is again very obvious. 7 is again quite interesting. The first one is very visible here. But also 8 is not as bad as far as I remember. Yeah, you have 1 and 2 quite big here. And 6 small pictures. 9 is a block of 3 pictures, of course. And 10 is again quite lovely. Maybe you should not upload more than 10 without a little headline in between. Because these individual blocks give your friends also the possibility to comment the individual blocks, which is also perhaps some nice thing. So please check out in which order you would like to upload them, so that the first view on your gallery is a nice one. One topic I would like to add if we talk about pictures is that you can also apply spoilers to pictures. If I drop a picture here, or 9 pictures, for example, I can say, okay, let's apply a couple of spoilers here, or all of them, whatever you like. Then the server will upload them, and you have spoilers also in your pictures. Maybe it's something which could be useful short before Christmas, whatever you want. This also works in your smartphone. Let's switch back to the right hand side, go to the plus. First of all, we can also clear the spoilers if you want. Say, okay, I would like to upload 2 pictures, for example, and mark the first one with a spoiler. You can see it here, and then upload it, and then you will have a first picture with a spoiler and the second one without, whatever you want. If you remember our discussion about the tables, in my opinion, or with my skills, it's not possible to edit pictures. And we can see this also here. If I upload this picture, for example, and said, it was not the best one, I would like to have another one, I don't have the chance to edit the picture. I could add a title to make it a bit clearer that it is the wrong one, but I don't have any chance to edit this picture. The only possibility, if you have an initial post with a picture and you know you have to change this picture from time to time, but it has to be post 1. So the only, or one solution, I'm not sure if it is the only one, but one solution I would use is just to use a link and to place the picture at another server. So in this case, this picture is already published at the GT Planet, and if you use it there, then it is also presented. It's the same picture with the same size. If you zoom it, it has the same size. I don't know, to be honest, why it's presented smaller here, but this picture you could change, because you could replace the link. So much more lovely. No, it's not much more lovely, but it's a friend of us, therefore it's lovely picture. And so you could, without changing the position of the post, you could change the content. The problem is now, if you would not just like to have this picture, but also, for example, a title, like that, you see that then Discord displays this link and it does not look very nice. So you should have the possibility to change that. We can do this with the help of the format of the links we already discussed. So if we say, for example, let's use a format for this link which is like that, with something I can more or less hide later on, and say, okay, let's place it fat in this case. I need the link and the link text separated, and I write this part I would like to have there, and now if I'm lucky, yeah, it looks like that. So we have this a nice and fast friend, and the link is now nothing else than this little vertical bar here. It's a piece of ugly trick. Let's call it Workaround. Maybe sounds better. And now you have a headline, you have the picture, and you could replace this picture as well by again just replacing the link. And if you want, also the text. And here we are again. Now you have a wonderful picture. You can say, okay, let's delete the old message with the wrong picture. We don't need it anymore. And if you can store the data in another server, or you use data which is published on another server already, you could also change it in Discord. One further topic I would like to address in the scope of pictures and arranging text and pictures within one post is that in Discord you can specify text and you also can specify pictures, one or a group of pictures as we discussed. And after finally posting, first of all the text is presented and then the picture. But within the same post you don't have a chance to add further text under the picture, for example. Not even by editing. If I just can edit this text, and it will be still posted above the picture. So the only possibility, for example, to write a kind of article is to set different posts one after the other with text blocks and corresponding pictures. And then you can read it more or less like one article. So it's not necessary to write down the whole text and then a wood of pictures nobody is able to read properly. You can just do it like that with a couple of different blocks of text and pictures, and so you could arrange your article in the way you would like to have it, and of course also quite pretty. So this is a little drawback, that Discord gives you another possibility to arrange the post in any case you would like to do that. but it also makes it a bit clearer because it defines a kind of base structure all the guys on the server have to fulfill, and therefore you more or less know at the first glance what you would get and what to expect. In the last step, I would like to do a final example using the smartphone. Jump to the smartphone view. The example I would like to present you is how to upload a tune quite quickly. Let's imagine you have done a tune for a very lovely car and you would like to share it with your friends. Then you go to the car setups. You first of all have to decide if it is a new one or if it does fit to any other category. If not, go to others. In this case, it fits into the Sport Cars 550 category. We already have a couple of tunes there, and we would like to add a new one. So, as this is a forum, we just can add an entry. It needs a title. The title is the car in this case. It is the Volkswagen Samba Bus, a very nice one. And it is from 62. It is not the Samba Us, it's the Samba Bus. Okay. And we could add some tuning details in this case so that the guys have also information which is not shared with the help of the pictures we use later on. For example, the wheels in this case, or the rims are wide. And the offset is also wide. You should share this information because it makes it much more easy. Apply the tune later on. Yeah, this is for the Samba Bus not really necessary. There is no possibility to change the front as well as the side, the rear and the wing. I don't do it here. And you could also apply a little warning for your friends. This is also the truth if we talk about the Samba Bus. And then you add the most important pictures. If you remember the example we had with 3 pictures, if you would like to upload 3 pictures, the first one is the one which is the bigger one, and here I take the most important picture of the tuning, and then the second one, and at last a little picture so that we can see what we tune here. We have the headline, we have a little additional information, we have a warning, and we have the 3 pictures. The first one is in a group of 3, the one on the left hand side, which will be bigger than the other 2 pictures, and we will see if we post it. It should hopefully look very nice. This is the result, and now let's go to the computer view and check how it looks like. In the computer view, you see in the tree that this Volkswagen Samba Bus sub item was created here. It's also there, and you can call it from wherever you want. You have the headline, you have the information, you have in a nice manner this warning here, and you have the 3 pictures, and you can see if you work on a PC or also on the smartphone, the most important thing is the suspension setting. You even do not have to open the picture, you can read it like that, but feel free to open the picture and also to know which parts do you have to apply, non-permanent and permanent parts. You can see that it is an engine swap, and yeah, the lovely picture with the bears, it's a nice one. Yeah, this is the picture I would like to use to say goodbye for today. Thanks for watching. It was my pleasure. I hope it was useful for you, and sorry for the length of the video, but you know me.